Jingle Jangle is a Christmas movie that is about fantasy and family and love and rediscovery. My character's name is Jessica Jangle, very cute name, and I am the daughter of Geronicus Jangle, the great inventor who has lost his mojo and in doing so lost me. And I have a young daughter named Journey who has taken up where I left off. What we find out in the movie is that I too was an inventor, and I released it when my father released us. And I have a daughter who is carrying on the gene of inventing, but also the gene of magical thinking. We have phenomenal musicians. Like, it's really exciting. Harvey Mason and I actually worked together on Dreamgirls, so it was a pleasant surprise to run into him again. Phil and I are meeting for the first time, and what a joy. What a wonderful presence in the studio. And people don't know his name, but he writes for Bruno Mars, so they know his music. And that was thrilling to me to know that he was going to be here, because I'm a big fan of big fan sounds so trite, but I really mean it. Like, I'm a big fan of what he does, and I think that his music is lasting. Even though he lives in the pop world, it's lasting music and it has roots. And John Legend also wrote a phenomenal song. The musicians are phenomenal. The studio work and the producers in the studio are fantastic. We're in very good hands, and I was just allowed to really let go in a way that I don't think people have heard me sing before, because it's not what I'm usually asked to do, and it's been something that I've been yearning to do, so I'm excited to release it. I don't think I've ever seen a Christmas special with Black people. I don't think I ever have seen it. And I certainly haven't seen it in a fantasy viewpoint. And then we're also seeing ourselves, Black people, but also people of color in general, represented in the 19th century in this beautiful, like, Victorianish clothing, no chains. That is very exciting, to be able to represent the part of society that lived and created and loved and had families and lives that were not dealing with the everyday horrors of slavery, which is something that I think is constant when you think of, or when you're seeing Black people represented in that time period in the past. And it was not everybody's life. It was not everybody's reality. It's colorful, and it's magical, and it's beautiful, and it's welcoming, because although it is a story about a Black family, everyone is involved in this. We have white people in it. We have beautiful Asian woman who's in it, and she's not the only one, but everyone is represented on this screen, living and dancing and creating in these clothing. That's not really grammatically correct. Michael Wilkinson, who is Australian, and he's done this amazing thing with the fabrics where you have traditional African fabric that is turned into this Victorian gear. So you're never allowed to forget where these people come from or what the history is that has been melded into this landscape, because African history, African American history, but African history as a singular thing, has woven itself into the history of the world. There's nowhere that it hasn't touched. And yet, we tend to create things as if it didn't exist until a certain time, or as if people didn't move around and travel until a certain time. So it's a really beautiful thing, and you'll see it in the choreography too, that sort of the origin spot for everyone is represented in what is happening in this piece. and it's something to truly be proud of. I think this movie not only can be, but will be a new holiday tradition for families, because it is very traditional, because the music is phenomenal, because it's welcoming, it is exciting, it's warm. We have phenomenal children in the piece, like just phenomenal kids. I think it is something that people will want to watch over and over again, child or adult. I think the movie itself is a beacon of hope, but I also think that the movie, it lights a candle in people. I think it lights a candle in people's hearts. And it's a beautiful thing because you have a person who is an adult who gave up on himself. And you see where it happens and what that means. And then you have his child and her child bringing that hope back to life. And what that really says is that it's never too late. It's never too late to be hopeful. It's never too late to love. It's never too late to give. But once you give up on yourself, you've released everything. It has been a fabulous process, I have to say. And I'm going to stick to David because he's the head of the ship. And that's where things either go really right or really wrong. And we're in a situation where it's going really right. It's a very open set. It's a very happy set. It's a very inclusive set. And he called me and my people about a year ago to offer this to me. And then we were trying to set up phone calls and nothing happened. And then we had a Skype call where I don't even think I had on anything but chapstick. And he still offered it to me, so yay. But it has been a joyous, joyous thing, and it's been a dream of his for years. So when you see an adult who feels like a kid because their dream is coming to life, it's just a fantastic thing to be a part of. And I would bet that anybody that you ask about him would say it's been a fabulous working experience, and I look forward to something else sometime soon. And it's good for people to see his imagination, because everything that he has done thus far has been sort of rooted in real life and just real, comedic but real. This is not real, and I would go so far as to say that his fantasy mind is even better than his real life mind. It's unfettered and it's full of joy, and that's fantastic.